Hey guys, Peter here to do an EP review of Lorna Shore's and I Return To Nothingness, out August 13th on Century Media Records. It has 3 tracks, 18 minutes in length, and they are an American deathcore band. Now this is their first release with Will Ramos on vocals, and what a way to get him introduced to the fans. But before we talk about the songs, let's talk a little bit about the record itself and how it's put together, because I felt like there are 2 elements that really jump into the forefront. The first is a sense of continuity. If you listen to this in order, you really feel like the songs allow you to transport yourself from track to track, so they have a very fluid motion and they really give you something in order to allow the next song to feel a little bit more complete. Something you normally see on a full-length album, not on an EP, but it works really well on how it was put together here, and it gives you a sense of completion when you take that sort of road, when you take that sort of approach. If you listen to it on shuffle, or if you listen to it in any other format that you want, you're going to get 99% of what this EP has in store for you. But to reach that 100% mark, I really feel you need to listen to it in order. The atmosphere that's created by the soundscape can only be recognizable to you in terms of understanding what the full picture of these 3 songs are all about if you go in the right order. The other element is how the title of the songs represents the atmosphere created within the songs themselves. When you listen to the Hellfire or Of the Abyss or And I Return To Nothingness, the title of those songs really represents the sensation, the emotions that you get within the songs, within the atmosphere of the tracks. I really felt like this was a very important element in order to give you the full picture, in order to help you with that construction that the EP has, with that fluidity, with that start, middle, and end, and give you the whole complete understanding of what these 3 songs are all about and have in store for you, way beyond just pure aggression, melody, and intensity. Now let's talk about the 3 tracks, starting off with To the Hellfire, which was the first single. Perfect opening song in terms of how it sounds, in terms of how it's constructed. That acoustic intro works 2 ways. It works as the introduction to the song, and it works as the introduction to the EP itself. From that point on, you start to realize that this track has different lanes, it has different layers, it has melody, it has aggression, and it has intensity. Sometimes they're all working in parallel with one another. Sometimes the melody kind of dissipates and is all about the brutality and how you move forward within that brutal sound that the track carries. But more often than not, you're going to see that melody coming into the forefront, or at least be one of the layers that allows the song to feel very robust and also give you a sense of contraction and expanding. When that melody comes in, the song becomes bigger. When the melody goes out, it is all about the heaviness. The song contracts a little bit. So it's very dynamic from that perspective. I really like that sense of pushing you in one direction, but with ups and downs, never steady, never linear, always with a lot of feel, always with a lot of life in it. Also, the guitar solo plays an important role in this track because it brings that melody that's there, that layer that's there, that underbelly of the song, brings it into the forefront, and it gives it time, it gives it a spotlight. It allows you to really understand exactly what was happening in terms of the song having those ebbs and flows all the way through it. And then closing off with those insane vocals brings the track full circle, really giving you a glimpse of everything that these guys can do in one single song. So I love how this track is put together. I love the volatility that it has, that contracting and expanding, really interesting, and then that solo just magnificent, really exposing that underbelly of melody that this track possesses. Next, Of the Abyss, a more symphonic track from the beginning, and it's one of the most symphonic tracks out of the 3. I really felt that they played more into that path, but they never lost a sense of aggression, intensity, and heaviness. When this song starts with the symphonic elements, not too long after the drums come in. The drums are super heavy on this track, and those 2 elements together make the song feel very cinematic. It gives it a cinematic vibe almost from the get-go. It just feels like a movie score style track. It feels massive, it feels robust. The guitars have some technical elements, not all the way throughout, but they come in and they go out, allowing you to feel a little bit of an ebb and flow, more from a guitar's perspective than anything else. Everything else feels a lot more methodic, but the guitars really give you that sense of change that you need in order for the track to have a little bit more life in it. And I really like the technical side of it because it really adds a little bit of different flavor, and it matches really well to that cinematic drive that the song has with the symphonic elements in the drums and the way they're coming together. The chorus is very lively. It has a lot of sound to it. It has a lot of melody as well. And then it has an incredible solo section that feels like you're spiraling down, that you're going down into an abyss. It almost feels like you're going around in turns, or you're diving deep into nothing. That's the way the solo comes across. That's the nature of the atmosphere that's created by that solo. And then what comes after that solo is just pure heaviness, pure brutality, which allows you to feel like you're finally reached the bottom of that abyss, and it's just darkness. That's how that section is put together. But then you get the chorus to come right back at you again with a lot of melody, with a lot of light, with a lot of brightness. So it's a song that always gives you a sense of something at the end of that tunnel, and that something is that incredible, bright, melodic chorus. Last but not least, in I Return to Nothingness, the perfect song to close off these 3 tracks, because it really brings the curtains down. It has layers upon layers upon layers. The symphonic elements are there once again. It has some technical elements as well, but it offers more of a linear approach. At least I felt like this is a song that feels a little bit more streamlined. You start to see the end in sight, and because of that, it doesn't give itself enough room to be as dynamic as the 2 previous tracks. This is you reaching the end of the road style track in terms of how it's constructed. The chorus still has a lot of explosion. The chorus still has a lot of sound to it, and that allows the song itself to become a little bit bigger, increasing its footprint. More linear in the verses, more explosive in the chorus, more robust, more bigger in that chorus. And then you get into the solo. The solo on this track is outstanding. The best solo out of the 3 songs, not just because of how it sounds, but because the life that it gives to the song. Very technical sounding solo that brings a little bit of texture to a song that up until this point felt very linear. Like I said, it felt very straightforward in its approach, in its musicality, and even how the vocals are coming into it. But the solo really ignites the track. It gives you something different to process because of the extension of the solo. The solo is a little bit bigger than what it was in the 2 previous songs. It allows you to really lose yourself in the melody that it has, in the sound that it has, in the atmosphere that it creates. And then it closes off with this symphonic element that was present at the beginning of the track, but at the beginning of the track didn't have the same atmosphere that it has at the end. At the end, it really has a sense of finality. It has a sense of somebody shutting off the lights, and the end is here. I love how this song closes off itself and how it closes off the EP. This is it. This is Lorna Shore with I Return to Nothingness, out August 13th on Century Media. Let me know your thoughts on the band, on the singles. Use the comment section below. I'll be reading those and getting back to you. Take care, guys.